Well, as far as the news, I think it was pretty expected. I don't think that it caught anybody off guard that he was going to transfer. I think he kind of saw the writing on the wall that it was going to be Anthony Richardson's team moving forward. And as far as potential placements for where he could end up, I'm not sure of any one particular school. I think as far as just a basic type of place that he could end up, I could see him possibly going to a lower Power Five or higher Group of Five school. And one team that I don't know why, but this team kind of intrigues me with Emory Jones is Cincinnati. They're losing Desmond Ritter. I think that Emory Jones could really step right in at a place like Cincinnati and keep some of their success going into next season. So like I said, I haven't heard any rumors about potential destinations, but that's just one place that, if I were Emory Jones, I would possibly reach out and see if that interest is mutual.
Yeah, I think Cincinnati makes a lot of sense. That's a team I've thought of a couple of times. And I know we were talking the other day, and I mentioned a team I think is kind of a dark horse, and I think it's Nebraska. And you look at Nebraska, they're losing Martinez. He's transferring to Kansas State. And this is Scott Frost. He has one final year to prove that he is a good coach for the Cornhuskers. They've kind of lacked, consistent quarterback play. Martinez, he's one of the best quarterbacks in Nebraska history, but aside from him, they've not had anything great the last several years. I feel like if you add Emory Jones to Nebraska right now, that could really, light a fuel in their team. They've had so many games where they've had one possession losses this past year. I feel like if you add Jones to Nebraska, I feel like that's really a match made in heaven for Jones and Nebraska because, despite losing one of the best quarterbacks you've had in school history, you're gaining probably one of the best quarterbacks in this portal out there right now. I think Jones to the Cornhuskers makes a lot of sense. I don't think it will happen, though, because, like you said, Cincinnati makes a lot of sense as well. But with all the craziness we've seen the past couple of weeks in college football, it seems like anything can happen at this point.
Yeah, man. I mean, college football is crazy, and I mean, it's just so unpredictable. I mean, there's been things that have happened that no one saw happening. So, who knows? Maybe Emory Jones might find himself at a bigger school than what we're thinking. Maybe some sort of kind of lateral move, I guess you could say, from Florida. But at the moment, I don't see a team like that. But you never know. I mean, crazier things have happened.
And it's interesting because, you look at Jeff Driscoll. He was never great at Florida, but he went to Louisiana Tech. And then you also look at Felipe Franks, who is kind of similar to Jeff Driscoll, is like he had the potential, but he never really, he was never really consistent. And he ended up going to a, SEC school in Arkansas. So
Right.
you don't really know where Emory Jones fits in between those two guys. I feel like obviously he's going to be higher than a Louisiana Tech type of team. But maybe kind of that Arkansas level type of team, like Arkansas,
Yeah.
Nebraska, one of those teams who they're not a bad group of five, Power Five, but they're one of those teams who are in the rise. And if you add Emory Jones to your team, they could be one of the better teams in their conference.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, and when I mentioned lower Power Five, I'm thinking like I'm just using these as an example, but like Missouri or South Carolina, or which actually Spencer Rattler just went to South Carolina, so I don't think Emory Jones is going there. But just as an example, that type of caliber of team, I think is somewhere that Emory Jones could end up, or like I said, he could go to a higher group of five team like Cincinnati or someone like that, or you and I have talked about it, even a place like Marshall. I think he would be a great fit there. And we've talked about the NIL stuff and how he could be that premier name at a place like Marshall. But I think the rest just remains to be seen at this point. We'll have to just wait and see where Emory ends up.